about
science book.
don't know much about,
The French I took.
but I do know that
I love you.
and I know that if you
Love me too. What a wonderful world this would be. Under the boardwalk.
out on the sun,
Under the boardwalk.
we'll be having some fun.
Under the boardwalk.
People walking above,
Under the boardwalk.
we'll be falling in love under the boardwalk.
Ladies and gentlemen, the attendees are now making their way to their seats.
Her Excellency Emerita, Governor General Dame Paulette Louisi, Colonel Nathan Hyacinth, Cadet Commandant, Rupert Ellis, former principal of the Leon Hess Comprehensive Secondary School, Arthur Scott, current principal of the N-Tripo Secondary School, Nicholson Alexis, former member of the Parent Advisory Support Committee, Mr. Eugene Seeley, former director and of the Inter-Secondary School Concert Band, Mr. Samuel, former company commander of the Delta Cadet Corps of Leon Hess Comprehensive Secondary School, Mr. Elize, former unit commander of the DCC, Leon Hess Comprehensive Secondary School, Major Sean Wells, staff officer, adjutant, and former member of DCC, former members of the Delta Cadet Corps, specially invited guests, good evening. Good evening. I'm sure it's going to be a very good evening. I am Linda Chocolate Berthier, your co-MC for the evening, and this is my co-MC for the evening.
I am Alex Morgan, former warrant officer of the Delta Cadet Company and co-host.
And as you will find out tonight, we here among you look like ordinary people with no hats tonight, but we are actually wearing many hats tonight. And you could tell that he almost forgot in what capacity he's functioning tonight. So you will learn a little more about everyone here, including me. And I will try my best to make sure that the night is not going to be too long. So judging from the battery life of my phone, we'll soon be out of here. But welcome to our 30th anniversary commemorative dinner and social event. Put your hands together for yourselves and the planning committee. Without further ado, my co-host will take over from here.
Ladies and gentlemen, I invite you to please stand for the national anthem of St. Lucia. Please remain standing whilst we invite Mr. Trevor Alfred to open us in prayer.
Good evening, all. Before I start up the cadet prayer, I just would like to share some military friendship quotes with you. In the fires of battle, friendships for unwavering loyalty. Military friendships and the camaraderie that we share amongst us becomes brotherhood. Salute the bond that knows no boundaries, military friendship. True friends fight together, bleed together, play together. Sacrifice and friendship go hand in hand. The cadet prayer, we all could follow on our program. O God, our Heavenly Father, who has brought us together as members, as former members of the Delta Cadet Company, help us to do our duty at all times and to be loyal to each other. May all that is good and true prosper amongst us, strengthen us to defend the right, and may our work be acceptable to Thee.
Amen.
Amen. Delta, you change it. I'm not former.
Thank you very much, Major Trevor Alfred. He will be one of the recipients later on, so you may all have your seats. You look very beautiful tonight, may I say. All the different shades of green. I'm so happy I listened to my co-host. He told me he was going to wear a nice shocking color green, so I tried to match, and then he walks in black and white.
This happens when you have too many opinions. When your wife tells you, you're going in green, and your son tells you, Daddy, you should wear this. So, my apologies.
All right, so we're going to invite another special guest tonight to pay tribute.
The devil is a liar.
A cadet in his secondary school years joined the staff of the Leon Hess Comprehensive Secondary School. With his cadet background, was soon appointed as, well, he succeeded Mr. Samuel in the post of unit commander, served in the Delta Company until 1993. During his tenure, the Leon Hess Comprehensive Secondary School, he achieved the title of Most Outstanding Unit, which included first prize winners for various star proficiency level exams. Mr. Elize provided human service support to the Delta Company. After serving for many years at Leon Hess, he is currently appointed as principal of the Bocage Secondary School, where he continues to impart some of the Delta Cadet company, discipline, and methods in management of his institution. To bring our welcome remarks, please put your hands together and welcome Mr. Cuthbert Elize.
Thank you. Protocol having been established, I would like to adopt it. Of course, ladies and gentlemen, you look wonderful or wonderfully dressed for the occasion. My duty here is very simple. It is to welcome one and all to this auspicious occasion. Of course, this is an occasion that has been long overdue. If I tell you, we started planning this long before COVID. And of course, it is a reality today. We at the Delta Company, Delta Company was more than an organization to us. We were a family. Of course, it is a joy and a pleasure to see former students, because of course they were students back then. They were cadets, yes, but they were students back then. And to see basically the planning that has gone into making tonight a reality is that of the students who have grown into men and women. Give yourselves a round of applause for a job well done. Of course, I remember when we on the hill reigned supreme. There was no Charlie to test us. There was, of course, I don't think we heard that. There was no Charlie to test us. Yes. When we moved out, when we marched out as one, collecting all of the prizes. And I think that it brought up some jealousy. But then, of course, we were the flagship, we were the bearers. And, of course, Delta was in our genes. So, on behalf of the planning committee, I want to wish everybody a wonderful evening. Let's sit back, let us relax, and let us reminisce in our days as cadets. Welcome one and all.
Thank you very much, Mr. Elize. My unit commander, Leon Hess. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be graced with our next guest, Mr. Thomas Samuel joined the staff of Leon Hess Comprehensive Secondary School as a teacher of mathematics and geography in September of 1987. Wow. However, 4 years earlier, he had been awarded the covetous prize of Most Outstanding Cadet amongst his peers and graduated from secondary school with similar distinction. Holding the rank of warrant officer, he was appointed as commander of the school's cadet unit. Having completed his officer's level training and the potential cadet officer, this is the PCO's course at the Barbados Defense Force, BDF, in 1988, he was promoted to the interim rank of under officer. In 1989, he led the St. Lucia contingent to the OECS Goodwill Regional Cadet Camp in Montserrat and was promoted to the rank of second lieutenant. Later that year, the St. Lucia Cadet Corps was restructured into 4 cadet companies. Under then Second Lieutenant Samuel, he served in this capacity for a period of 4 years, ending 1993. Under his leadership, the Delta Cadet Company continued in its own tradition of excellence and received multiple awards as Most Outstanding Cadet Company of St. Lucia Cadet Corps. During his tenure and tour of duty, he trained and impacted the lives of hundreds of students and young people, inspiring them to be the best they can be. Some of them are here with us today. As you look around You will see, of course, I'm one of them. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you
them memories, shared experiences while they were cadets. These trips down memory lane, typically occurred during chance encounters of these former members when they met each other either in town or in other random places like supermarkets, bars, etc. And at which they would start musing and reflecting on the so-called good old days at DCC. In many cases, the conversation will often end with the suggestion that perhaps it was time that we came together to have a reunion of some sort. Undoubtedly, these yearnings to come together are manifestations of an enduring bond of camaraderie and esprit de corps, which underpin the friendship between these former colleagues, which has stood the test of time over 30 years. And you did hear Major Alfred allude to the strong bonds of friendship that exist between persons who have served in any military or paramilitary organization. Thus, after repeated suggestions made over a number of years, and Mr. Elise did tell you that it was long in coming, to do something, a consensus emerged to hold a commemorative event to bring former colleagues together once again. But as you all know, and those who have been part of this planning exercise, to plan this exercise can attest, it is easier said than done. So while our tenure as cadets or members of the DCC, so while we are gathered here to observe the 30th year since we were cadets, I can assure you that this process, like Mr. Elise said, started years ago. It was first our intention to observe the 25th anniversary, but that didn't pan out. We persevered. Our preparations were derailed by the advent of COVID-19, the pandemic, which prohibited us from having social gatherings. And we came this close. It was to be held in March of 2020. And that is when the protocols kicked in and we had to abandon the plan. So after months of perseverance, preparations, and planning, we are here today to honor and the collective wish of our members to have such an event. So our presence here, ladies and gentlemen, is really to celebrate the experiences way back then. So we have come together, set up a planning committee, and asked our members to make financial contributions, which they did, because of the enduring love and appreciation for the DCC. As Mr. Elise said, DCC to the bone in his heart, in our hearts. However, in putting this event together, we thought it was most important to invite the persons who we deem as friends and witnesses to the DCC story. And that's why we carefully selected our honored guests. Indeed, many of you have interacted in one way or another with the members of the DCC group, so you can relate to us in a very real sense, albeit from different perspectives. For example, I start with our former Governor General Emerita, who served as the titular head of the St. Lucia Cadet Corps for many years, during which time she interacted directly with two of our former members who served as, in one case, her aide-de-camp, and in another, head or part of a security detail. So we are indeed honored and extremely grateful that Her Excellency has chosen to be here with us, given that she had a number of other competing requests for her presence at other higher profile events. Beyond her promoting of cadet officers to commission ranks, Her Excellency has demonstrated an acute interest and support for the cadet movement in St. Lucia in many ways over the years. One example which comes to mind was her commissioning of a special advisory committee in October of 2012 to assess the challenges faced by the St. Lucia Cadet Corps at that time and to make recommendations to address them. I am pleased to have chaired that committee and to have served along with the current commanding officer of the St. Lucia Cadet Corps, Colonel Hyacinth, and others here present, including Major Alfred. We also have, as I indicated, commanding officer of the St. Lucia Cadet Corps, Colonel Nathan Hyacinth. Although he came from a rival company that was referenced earlier on, called Charlie, he has nonetheless been a friend of DCC. And so it's been for a long period. He has always understood the catalytic effect and benefit to the St. Lucia Cadet Corps in terms of its development from healthy competition among its constituent parts, units, companies, or other divisions. Also present with us are representatives of, is a representative of the former principal of the Leon Hess Comprehensive Secondary School, the diligent and indefatigable Mr. Rupert Ellis, as well as the current, we need to all remember, and all of us can agree, the heads of our school plans, our principals, play a significant role in helping to facilitate the objectives of any cadet organization, without which we at DCC would never have been able to achieve the goals, nor the reputation that we have. Mr. Ellis, and cheers to you, as always. Then we have in our midst one of the parents from our then Parents Advisory Support Committee. You know, when we did cadetting, we did it together with the parents. The parents were actively involved, because we were dealing with their children. So we did decisions jointly. And one of the parents in that organization is right here with us, Mr. Nicholson Alexis. He was instrumental in assisting the DCC in the attainment of many of its fundraising goals to procure uniforms, equipment, and other. And he has witnessed firsthand, as a parent, the transformative impact of cadetting on the life of his first son as a member of DCC. His son is here tonight, Moving Alexis, one of the leaders of our planning committee. Ladies and gentlemen, DCC members, let us applaud Mr. Alexis on behalf of all parents who worked with us, such as Mrs. Patricia Matherin, who I understand is following us through the live link, and she was very active in supporting us as well. And her daughter is also watching on the link, Natasha Matherin. You see, there's always the backstory behind the success. Lastly, we have a gentleman who was instrumental in our efforts then to establish a marching band, which helped to initiate some of our members into the field of music, thereby making the training experience an even more fulfilling and rewarding one. I am pleased to report to you that a number of the members of the marching band, at least 4 of them, based on their early experiences in the Delta Cadet Band, joined the Royal St. Lucia Police Band to pursue on a full-time basis careers in music. Is now the deputy head of the Royal St. Lucia Police Band as in the position of acting superintendent. His name is Austin Charles, or Anderson Austin Charles. I will take a moment just to say a little bit about Mr. Charles and his journey in music. When we started this band, and he wanted to play the flute, and I was not trained in playing the flute, and so we had a teacher on staff who was from Denmark, and we got her to stay with him on afternoons, and she started teaching him to play the flute in a one-on-one, tutorial on afternoons. And today he's a fairly accomplished flautist and saxophone player, saxophonist. So that is the real essence of what we were doing on the Hill at Delta Company. So what are we here doing? Reflecting on the impact of the cadet experience. So notwithstanding all I've told you and why we are here and why our guests are here, the main reason that we are here, ladies and gentlemen, is to acknowledge and celebrate the members of the DCC as they reflect on the impact of cadetting on their lives. And so, as is indicated in your program, and you will see further along tonight, we shall take a quick glimpse into the past of these members when they were young, impressionable cadets, and we will walk or come forward towards the present to observe some of the stops they have made along their journey and career path. Notably, I am pleased to know that many of them describe in their own words that their personal development, milestones, and other achievements can be directly attributed in many ways to the training and experience that they receive while in the DCC and by extension the St. Lucia Cadet Corps. Having played a role at the formative stage of their journey, I am most delighted to see how well they have all done, and you will also see later on in tonight's program. The training they are referring to, or I refer to, involve a range of paramilitary subjects, norms, activities, and practices based on the key principles and values needed to produce law-abiding and product plans. For example, it is worth noting that at the Leon Hess Comprehensive Secondary School, and Mr. Ellis can attest to that, over a 4-year period between 1992 and 1995, 3 of the 4 Students of the Year awards were won by former members of the Delta Cadet Company in the persons of Euralis Delaire, Yolanda Antoine, and Elton Griffith. We were doing something right. Also worthy of note in terms of the outlook and career interest, the training and experience obtained in the DCC, and certainly, as I said, in the wider St. Lucia Cadet Corps, encourage many of our members to pursue careers in the paramilitary or military organizations. And so, a number of our former members went on to join the Royal St. Lucia Police Force or went further afield to join militaries in the US or the UK, which is part of the natural inclination or progression that comes from the training that they receive. And I am pleased to note they have performed with distinction. In one such example, we have former warrant officer, former sergeant major, and I think he was later warrant officer, Kevin Tadley Peterson, who joined the US military as a former cadet in the Delta Cadet Company. And out of his class in what we call boot camp in the US military, he came 3rd overall. He went through the punishing, ran for the miles, did the press-ups, and they couldn't break him. That is because he was well prepared from his training here back then at DCC. So these are the stories, ladies and gentlemen, that we are really celebrating here tonight. So therefore, on the basis of these reflections regarding the impact of cadet training on the lives of this small sample of persons from the Delta Cadet Company, I think you would agree with me, it is clear that our society as a whole would benefit tremendously from a higher number of young persons involved in an organization such as the Cadet Corps. It's just cadetting. So there's an ad here, ad for the Cadet Corps. How's that? And I would send the bill to Mr. Harrison for a little later. So thus I implore our policymakers to see the need for more support for youth-based organizations such as the Cadet Corps as part of a strategy to promote civic responsibility and to reduce crime behavior, crime resulting deviant or antisocial behavior. So ladies and gentlemen, this is why we are here, to celebrate our common heritage, as I said. And although the careers of many of us ended prematurely, we are nevertheless proud of what we were able to achieve together, as it has positively impacted the lives of our members, their families, and the organization of which they are part. Therefore, we wish to thank the St. Lucia Cadet Corps and our special guests and all who made this possible. The experiences, good and bad, are indelibly etched in our minds and hearts and will continue to provide a foundation for us as we go forward with our lives. So as the saying goes, if you've been there, you know what it feels like. That is why we say, once a cadet, always a cadet. So with these few words, I wish to thank you and hope you have a wonderful commemorative dinner. We are honored to have you. I thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's thank Dr. Samuel for his comments and his remarks. But we are not all. Our next speaker, ladies and gentlemen, we are not here just to speak, okay? But our next speaker, he hails from. He's a young man, of course. Right? I can say 50 years is young. He's 50 years of age, that's young. A husband and a father of 2. He's from Casabah in Grosley. Has been his home from 2006. From 2002 to this date, he has been employed by Seraphine Community College, Technical Division, where he lectures within the building department. His interest in the cadet corps, in the cadet movement, started after seeing cadets in action during the recovery after Hurricane Allen. He has moved through the ranks and held numerous offices in the Cadet Corps. On October 15, 2012, Her Excellency Dame Paulette Louisy, the Governor General of St. Lucia, 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 appointed him to act as commandant for a period of 1 year. During that year, he took the opportunity to lay down the new direction and vision of the Corps. On November 1st, 2014, he was promoted to the rank of Lieutenant Colonel and appointed as Commandant. Lieutenant Colonel Hyacinth served as Deputy Chairman of the Caribbean Cadet Commandants Association, then from 2020 as Chairman. Since then, he has championed the cause of bringing together the training programs for the Caribbean region, making courses accessible to all through a virtual platform. As Commandant Lieutenant Colonel Hyacinth serves as Chair of NEMO's Supplies Committee. On Saturday, 21st January, he was promoted by His Excellency Acting Governor General to the rank of Colonel. Now, before you can hear from Mr. Hyacinth, we'll be favored with special. We're not here just to talk. We'll be favored with special music by none other from our Delta Cadet Company. Not just music, sweet voices. Okay, be blessed with special music. Doesn't even need introduction. In the person of my co-host, there she is, my co-host, Miss Linda Chocolate Buffet. Next voice you'll hear is Mr. Hyacinth.
Thank you. I think I just made Dr. Samuel a very happy man this evening, because Charlene was witness at rituals where Mr. Samuel tried to give this speech to convince me to sing tonight. And I kept saying, no, it's either I host or I sing. Choose one. And he still won, eh? But like he said, as you could tell, DCC is a foundation for sure for many of our careers. In our discipline and our management, you could tell that we have all learned from DCC. Amen. Amen. So in everything that we do, we want to remember our background, remember where we came from, and to represent those who have gone before us, and even our fallen soldiers. DCC will always love you. Hit me, selector. If I should stay, I would only be in your way. So I'll go, 'cause I know I'll think of you every step of the way. The music quit. And I will always love you. I will always love you. You, DCCU. Bittersweet memories. That is all I'm taking with me. So goodbye for now. Please don't cry. We both know I'm not what you need. And I will always love you. I will always love you. I think some of us plan to go back and, volunteer, especially with, right? It's our first love and welcome us with open arms if we were to go to assist. So we should do that. No hesitation. I hope life treats you kind. And I hope you have all you dreamed of. And I wish you joy and happiness. But above all this, I wish you love. And I will always love you. I will always love you. I will always love you. I will always, always, always love you. I will always love you. I will always love you. DCC, we love you. Oh, we'll always, always love. Sing with me. You. Thank you.
I don't know how they expect me to say anything following that. But good evening, ladies and gentlemen, Your Excellency, Dame Paulette Lucy, Governor General Emeritus, invited guests, cadet officers, former cadets, friends. On behalf of the St. Lucia Cadet Corps, I'd like to say thank you very much for hosting an event such as this. I must tell you that over the last 3 years, it has been part of the mission of the commandants of the region. As you heard earlier, I was the past chairman of the Commandants Association. And part of our role was to look at how to bring and encourage the former members, or I hate to say former members, because once a cadet, you're always a cadet. The cadet officers or cadets who have passed through the organization to come back in and to mentor the young ones coming up. The cadet movement is all about producing a young man or woman to be a productive citizen of St. Lucia. Among you, I see very productive persons and see the Cadet Corps has been meeting that part of its mission. I encourage you to continue being friends of the Cadet Corps, continue being the Delta Company. I must tell you that as much as I was never a member of the Delta Company, no, well, even better, my son actually is a member of Delta Company. So when you inquire, you'll hear of Sergeant Hyacinth, who is doing wonders at Delta Company. So therefore, the legacy is still passing through Delta Company. So again, I would like to continue encouraging you. Please, don't be strangers. Continue to come up to Delta Company. Leon Hess, as was said, I think the youngsters will love to hear from you. They will love to hear your story. They will love to see how you have progressed through life and how it is that you are becoming productive citizens as we have all inspired to be. I continue to encourage you to do so. The Cadet Corps has been making itself a lot smaller. The world has gotten smaller. So with technology, we can reach many persons, whether you are in St. Lucia or out of St. Lucia. For all those members of Delta Company who are outside of St. Lucia, gaining that experience out there, we still would love you to come in via the technology and speak to the young ones. Share with them your experience. We would love to continue to have this level of networking among us, cadeting a way of life. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I almost took a chance and ran to the bathroom, and I would have stick in that. Thank you so much. It's clear that the Cadet Corps has really played a significant role in many of our lives, and every single person who comes to the mic is chiming in the very same sentiments. So tonight doesn't just serve as a reunion and as a time for us to share our memories, but we could reflect and see how much the Cadet Corps has added to our lives, and I'm hoping that our young people could benefit. There's a member who is not here tonight, but he became a member of the Cadet Corps through Mr. Ellis realizing he's just not behaving well, so he told him to stay back and join the Cadet Corps. Our keynote speaker tonight hails from the community of Babonneau, Foassaw, more specifically. She has a son who is 23 years old, a daughter 13 years old. Her early education was at the Anglican Primary School and then the Leon Hess Comprehensive Secondary School in 1987, the best, of course. At the LHCSS, she was a very active student, well known for her athletic prowess. And in '92, she represented St. Lucia at the Carifta Games in the Bahamas and competed in javelin, discus, and 4x400 meters relay competitions. Her team placed third in the relay and set a new national record that was unbeaten for 16 years. During her 5 years at the school, she played in the steel pan group when it was active. She was also a member of the Delta Cadet Corps Orchestra, at first playing the clarinet and then the saxophone. She was on the contingent that represented St. Lucia at the OECS camp in Barbados in '91 and emerged as the top achiever in her star level. She went on through the junior ranks very quickly and graduated from the school with the rank of sergeant. She was a very focused and disciplined student, performing outstandingly in both academics and extracurricular activities. Her leadership qualities enabled her to be nominated as both house captain of Jess House, Pojab, and head prefect, pun intended. At her graduation ceremony in 92, she was educated Sportswoman of the Year, Student of the Year, capturing all but one overall award. In 93, she registered with the Sir Arthur Lewis Community College Division of Arts, Science, and General Studies, where she studied sociology, management, and economics. She found a new love in women's football and, of course, made it on the national team. She graduated from SALCC with the award of Most Academic and Sports. In 95, let me not say her name yet, joined the teaching staff of the Bokar Secondary School. During her 12-year stint at the school, she pursued a teaching certificate at Sir Arthur Lewis and a Bachelor of Education degree specializing in curriculum development. She was the sports coordinator and a teacher of social studies. During this time, she found another new love in women's cricket. She became the president of the association, where she served for 4 years, and also the coach of the youth team during the 4 years. In 2021, she completed her PhD in diplomacy and international affairs with EUCLID University. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me proudly welcome Dr. Delaire. Only last month was appointed as the Deputy Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Youth, Development and Sports. So please help me welcome to the podium our illustrious, professional and talented Dr. Delaire.
Your Excellency, Governor General Emeritus, Colonel Nathan Hyacinth, Commanding Officer of the St. Lucia Cadet Corps, and other members of the head table, other specially invited guests, colleagues, parents, good evening. I walked with my glasses because, the lighting is a little poor. So let's see if my contacts will work for me tonight. I am tasked with the feature address at this 30th anniversary commemorative dinner of former Delta Cadet Company members. It is a decision of my colleagues, which I regard as bold and courageous, premised on the presumption that I have acquired certain characteristics and accomplishments that epitomize the qualities of an ideal citizen which the Cadet Corps should or has engineered. While I have addressed a multitude of gatherings over the past years, this is the first time I'm addressing a collective of the existing or former members of the Cadet Corps. Today is special from several points of view, and I thought it appropriate to take this opportunity to share some personal thoughts with you about the past, present, and future of the Cadet Corps. The given topic is a bit lengthy, but nonetheless appropriate, and I quote, "The impact of the cadet experience based on the principles of leadership, discipline, and service, lessons for the youth and policy makers of today," unquote. I will take a tripodic approach to the topic. First, I will describe my journey in the Corps and how it has impacted my life through discipline, leadership, and service to my country. In the second part, I will address the lessons for the youth, and in the third, I will address the lessons for policy makers today. And I begin the impact of the cadet experience based on the principles of leadership, discipline, and service. I entered the gates of the Leon Hess Comprehensive Secondary School in September 1987. As a student of Form 1, at the school's anniversary in October, I was treated to an activity that mesmerized me. And let me describe the activity. As the commander gave his orders, the rifles spun in the air and they caught them in perfect synchronization and precision. Their uniforms remained in impeccable shape. Not a thread was out of place as their hands supported the 22-pound weapons. The students screamed in awe at the maneuvers, drills, and formations. This professionally choreographed routine was nothing short of show-stopping. But it was not until after this performance in 1998, during the second term, that I joined the Cadet Corps. I did not know much about the Corps, but I liked what I had seen and wanted to be part of it. After the usual call at the assembly for students to join the Corps, I took the bold step to stay back on this Wednesday afternoon after school. This decision was not without hesitation, as many of my friends from the senior forms discouraged me. However, I remained steadfast and resolute in my decision, and from this day on, I never regretted the option I selected. The St. Lucia Cadet Corps, at least back then, was well known for inculcating discipline, building leadership qualities, and instilling the need for service to country in its members. From day one of basic training, recruits received instructions on the Corps' values, discipline, leadership, and followership. We were taught the chain of command, the rank structure, the importance of following orders, and knowing what right looks like. Words like motivation and mental toughness often got tossed around when it came to preparing for anything challenging. We went through the rigors of physical and mental training in dreadful weather conditions, walking the breadth of St. Lucia, ignoring fatigue and hunger, and at the same time chanting songs of encouragement and teamwork. In the Cadet Corps, discipline is created within a command by instilling a sense of confidence and responsibility in each individual that would prompt the willing responsiveness to orders and understanding of compliance to regulation. It involves the ready subordination of the will of the individual for the good of the group, the need to hold high standards. Let me be more specific and speak to the Delta Cadet Company experience. I described our membership in the DCC as an experience because it was wholesome and holistic. Every member of DCC was exposed to music. Some of us were singers, while others played musical instruments, drums, or even steel pan. As a unit, we were known as the DCC Marching Band. We became the official band for several school sports meets. The main event of the band was the annual Christmas concert, which was a formal event attended by family members, friends of DCC, and other invited guests. Many of us graduated to the first inter-schools concert band, where we played alongside other secondary school students. Members of the DCC were in top physical shape. We ran long distances and challenged each other almost every day in the sprints on the school ground. Remember, Layo? We participated in the school's marathon and track meet. I vividly recall our company commander suggesting that we take part in the school's marathon in our cadet t-shirts. This suggestion, of course, did not go well with us because we belong to different houses. Theoretical classes formed a major part of our training at DCC. Wednesday's training was structured and simply an extension of the school day. There was a timetable for training and an agreed, or rather an assigned instructor for each subject. Any cadet with at least one stripe should have been able to instruct a class. We were taught how to prepare lesson plans and present information to a group. We specialize in topics and subjects that we were strongest at from the 5 or more subject areas offered. These subjects included fieldcraft, map and compass, military knowledge, drill, and skill items. We started or ended the training sessions with the company prayer, instilling in the young persons the need to develop their spirituality and be cognizant of a supernatural power. There was even a young chaplain in the making. DCC also promoted an appreciation for the art and culture. Cultural nights were the highlight of camps, where every cadet put on a presentation, be it a dance, song, skit, spoken word, or musical piece. We were encouraged to learn poems and songs which were performed as a group. We were also trained in public speaking, where we dipped for a topic and spoke freely about it for a few minutes. Our training was extended beyond that of the physical. At our usual games night, we were introduced to board games to stimulate our minds and build our resolve. They also tested our patience and temperament. Ladies and gentlemen, when the Delta cadets landed on any camp, our presence was immediately felt. Not only did we have the largest and most complete contingent, we were the most prepared, best dressed, and most impressive. Whereas our motive was to win all the prizes on camp, we also contributed to the smooth running of the camp and the development of other non-DCC cadets. Colleagues, these were the good old days. We had fun and enjoyed the camaraderie. We did not fathom that the DCC experience would have such a great impact on our adult life. The experience and exposure instill in us the discipline and determination that have been instrumental in our present-day success. Some of us move on to the police band. If I may single out Gary and Austin, the police force like Ian and Morgan. Some became teachers like Charlene and myself. Others businessmen like Owen and Williams. Entrepreneurs, Alfred, Mayers and Greaves. Public servants in the persons of Alexis and Augustine. And soldiers like Peterson. Linda and Natasha, nurses. And very importantly, volunteers like Price. Ladies and gentlemen, the list is very long, as most of us have done well and can be found in the annals of the major professions in St. Lucia. This, in a nutshell, is the holistic experience that the DCC cadets were treated to and how it shaped our character. I served in the Cadet Corps alongside the esteemed ladies and gentlemen in the audience today. The training I received, the camps I attended, and the experiences I had were no different from theirs. Look around, colleagues. I am so proud of us all. We have done well for ourselves and our country. I believe we deserve a round of applause. On a personal level, I am a very competitive individual. I always wanted to be the best. I carried my training in the Corps to every aspect of my life. On promotional camp, I wanted to be outstanding. At regional camps, I felt the onus was on me to bring the bacon home. At school, I wanted to be in the top 3 students in class, not forgetting to do homework or to be called out for misbehavior. Many of you know I was an athlete running the most difficult races, the 200 and 400 meters. This required speed and endurance, but most of all, guts. The ability to ignore pain and fatigue. Every win for me was also for the Cadet Corps. The mental fortitude to have achieved this feat was instilled in me by the Corps. I attended the Potential Cadet Officers PCO's training in Barbados during my stint as ADC to Her Excellency Dame Paulette Louisy. Never had I been more grateful for the DCC experience than during this camp. I had been out of active duty from the Corps for more than 15 years and had to reintegrate with seasoned cadet officers from Trinidad, Barbados, St. Vincent, Antigua, and the BVI. Of course, I remained quiet and humbled, but watchful, and never discussed my job or previous training. I simply allowed the Barbadians and Trinidadians to wallow in their lukewarm seas of mediocrity. But on the day I was assigned duty officer, and I bellowed the drill orders to the platoon, every training officer came out of their barrack rooms to see who was so effective and assertive. I dug deep into the archives of my body and mind to recall all the knowledge, training, and discipline that I had acquired from DCC. During the PT exam, we had to run 3 miles in 13 minutes. I used my experience, of course, as an athlete to outrun the platoon. So as the whistle was blown, I sprinted at top speed, knowing fully well that the rest would follow suit. I would eventually burn out, but it would be survival of the fittest thereafter, and I knew I had the guts and discipline to complete. By the way, only 3 of us completed the race in the allotted time. There was an individual from Barbados who was a close challenge in the theoretical exams, so it was incumbent on me to top the physical training and drill to emerge top of the class. I also knew that I was representing my country, so I had to have done outstandingly. This is the pride and love for country that DCC instilled in me. At the closing ceremony, I did it the DCC way and captured the award for Best Drill, Most Physically Fit, and Commander's Award for overall first place. Yet, I was disappointed that I did not win the award for Best Turnout because I felt I deserved it. However, I took solace in the fact that it was won by another St. Lucian. It is said that the difference between success and failure is not how motivated you are to succeed, but how disciplined you are during your preparation. My personal life also mirrors the training I received from the Corps. Even in my youth of old age, I try to maintain a physical posture and stature that at least reflects some semblance of physical training, as difficult as it is. Doing a PhD is a very lonely form of study and requires self-motivation and discipline, especially trying to complete it during a pandemic when an entire country was on lockdown or practicing social and physical distancing. Many times I thought of giving up, but a cadet voice in my head screaming at me to finish whatever I started would not allow me to give up. I just want to say thank you, DCC, for preparing me to take up my place in society and serve my country with pride and dignity. Lessons for the youth. I was also asked to speak on the lessons for the youth. There are not many youth among us this evening, so I hope we can take these lessons to our children, co-workers, or young persons we encounter daily. I shall make a humble attempt to briefly address the subject with the hope that you will be inspired to positive action, or your intellect will be sufficiently teased to come up with thoughts and ideas to develop yourselves and or your country. Society has unfortunately painted most young persons with a brush of indiscipline and has heaped on their doorsteps many of the problems affecting this country. But instead, I want to see you with an optimistic eye and leave you with the message that your future will be exactly what you make it. Make the best use of the education you are getting or have attained. When you cease being a part of the education system, go into the world of work conscious of the difficulties involved in getting and keeping a job. Also go with the determination not only to get a job, but to keep it and work hard at it. Take pride in yourself as young and responsible citizens of St. Lucia. Respect symbols and embrace national culture. Don't give credence to the positions of those who try to blame you for all of society's problems. Engage in responsible relationships and respect family life. Get involved in youth organization in your school and community and carry into these organizations every ounce of commitment and enthusiasm you can muster. Finally, strive to be counted proudly as a positive contributor to the pride and well-being of our country. The odds are stacked against you in this card game of life. Do not throw in your hand. Your trump card is your youthfulness. Use it wisely and you will win. You must win. Lessons for policy makers like myself. Ladies and gentlemen, colleagues, let me make it abundantly clear that the attitudes and behavioral patterns of young people merely mirror the position of the broader society. Young people are perceived as the greatest perpetrators of crime, illicit drug taking, sexual promiscuity, and the malaise of problems in society. As accurate as these misgivings are, they are merely reflections of the fact that it is the youth who are the greatest sufferers of the manifold ills of our society. The issue of unemployment is one of the root causes of many of society's problems. The absence of adequate sporting, cultural, recreational, and educational facilities impacts heaviest on the youth who need such avenues for constructive utilization of their abundant energies. We have failed as policymakers to provide adequate alternatives to crime for our young persons. The options provided by the drug lords and gang leaders seem more attractive than what the schools, churches, community organizations are offering. If we are serious about tackling indiscipline among our youth, we will stop feeding them with whatever garbage is emitted from the television screen by enforcing censorship laws and encouraging more local programming. As leaders and policymakers, we need to set good examples and display high levels of standard in the quality and caliber of leadership we provide. In order to restore discipline in our communities, we must ensure that young people have adequate sporting, cultural, and recreational facilities. Madam Chair, it is time for us to invest in community and youth groups and build their capacity in order to win them back, the young persons from the nefarious characters in society. Our education system needs to offer more technical and vocational subjects to students so they can acquire skills and become self-employed. And I can go on, Madam Chair, but the economy of time would not allow it. These are merely snapshots of some of the things we must examine as a nation if we are to stamp out the cult of indiscipline and crime sweeping across our country. And as the chair of proceedings indicated, I am now the acting Deputy Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Youth Development and Sports. And surprisingly, one of the first documents I signed in that capacity was the one sanctioning the payment of subvention to the Cadet Corps. So, Mr. Hyacinth, your check should be ready. I am also approaching my twilight years in the public service, and the good Lord has landed me in the driving seat of the primary organization responsible for enabling a rich and holistic experience for young people. This has to be the work of a superpower in ensuring that the future of the youth of St. Lucia is in the right hands. I must state from the outset that this task is a difficult one, but one I will perform the DCC way with leadership, discipline, and service. In closing, let me congratulate you on the initiative here today. Well, congratulate us to commemorate our years of experience in the Delta Cadet Company. Usually commemorations are done for the day events were given birth, but tonight is different but equally significant. I also wish to extend my commendations to the organizing committee for putting this event together. Colleagues, I have deliberately stayed away from making comments as to why we are no longer members or active members of the Corps, or why the DCC no longer assumes its once prestigious position on the pedestal of the St. Lucia Cadet Corps. These will be shared at our usual gatherings in the watering holes. But the Cadet Corps served us well. Let us commit to giving back and providing support so that the organization not only peeps through the keyhole of St. Lucia's development, but also unlocks the doors to the development of our people and nation. Thank you for your indulgence and the opportunity to rehash my DCC experience, one that has shaped my life and one I would not change even if I were reborn. I wish all of you a very pleasant evening. Thank you.
Yes, I agree. Let's all stand together and give rounding applause. Thank you so, so much, Dr. Eurelise Delaire. I noticed some people took a while to stand up. I know why. We're coming to the point where it's my favorite time tonight. Right? My favorite time. Food. Was that you said? Oh, that was your belly I heard there? Sorry. So I learned a lot, especially some new words you released, like tripodic approach. That's a term I need to include in my vocabulary. But I want to teach you all one, boborigma. Anybody knows what boborigme is? Boborigme? Somebody say boborigme. Boborigme. Nobody knows? Anybody? Hands? No? It has to do with cake? No, it has to do with what happens when you don't eat cake. This is the sound that your bellies are making right now. So I want to let you know, I'm going to try to just give you a little word of encouragement to hang in there. We're almost done. We're getting to the part now where we're going to be eating soon. But I want to just remind you that we will be pinning our people this evening. The pinning ceremony and toast session is coming up soon. I guess we're going to go through the latter part of the dinner, but we're going to allow you to go to have some dinner first, and we'll come back to do that. I also want to say a special good evening to our online viewers. I keep forgetting to say hello. I know Peterson is on. Taddy Peterson, Esther Richards, all the way overseas, and Jan Gustav and the lot. So let's put our hands together. Jan, is that? I need food. Hypoglycemia. Sorry, I think I saw you said something online, so I assumed. I'm sorry. Oh, y'all were commenting. Y'all were not paying attention in class.
Also, you want to big up Mr. Alfred. He's a father. He's a father to DCC from the get-go. He's online, Sweet Shave, and he's been giving me some talks there and asked me to big him up. So I'm bigging up Mr. Alfred and all of the others there. Mr. Alfred, yes, you're here, and we're feeling you in the heart, and I will obey your instructions that you gave to me in a bit. All right, so without further ado,
Yes. So
the dinner is served, but let us do it in an orderly fashion. We have our special invited guests. They will go to, they will be served first, and then again you have our distinguished guests on the head table. And then we go in order of the tables, please. You have tables 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Your table is numbered. It's not too many of us, so it will not take that much of a long time. So it's a nice time to get to know or remember some of the persons on the table around you. I think so. When we come back up, at least during our negotiation time, you could tell us something about somebody on the table next to you.
So we'll start with the head table now. You may. The distinguished guests, I apologize. We'll start with the distinguished guests. But we have someone who is going to serve Emeritus Governor General, Dame Paulette Louisy, so you may remain seated. Mr. Samuel, Okay. Yes. All right. So enjoy, socialize, and we'll be right back with the presentation of pins by our specially invited guests. So when you're leaving your table, ladies and gentlemen, please go with the beautiful plates that is in front of you where you're seated. Yes, if you can.
Jerusalema ikayalami ilondoloze uhambe nami zungangishilana Jerusalema ikayalami ilondoloze uhambe nami zungangishilana dawo yami ayikholana lema ikhaya lami ilondoloze uhambe nami sumangishilana dawo yami ayikholana buso wami awukholana ilondoloze suhambe nami.
So during our swallowship, as we wait to go out to get our foods and we come back in, we will be serenaded by Major St. Jules. So ladies and gentlemen, those of you who have your hands free, please join me as I welcome Major St. Jules to entertain us.
Hallelujah.
ladies and gentlemen. I know one time. We're having a wonderful time, and yes, we'll be resuming shortly. I know we have our pinning ceremony and toast, and we would love for everybody to be having a good time while this is happening. If we wait too late, we will soon feel tired, and you know we will also suffer of ethnic fatigue. So let's carry on smartly. If you haven't had your dessert, please go on and get it. And with all due respect, if you give me permission to resume the session while you're enjoying your dessert, I would love to. If you give me permission, is that okay? Awesome, because of the interest of time. So we will give some folks maybe 5 minutes, and my co-MC, shall regroup and be back with you shortly. Thank you so much.
somebody new, he better be good to you. 'Cause if he does, baby, 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 I'll be there. Each time we meet, love, I find complete love. Without your sweet love, what would life be? So never, never leave me lonely. Love me, you love me only, and that you'll always let it be me. I bless the day I found you. I want to stay around you, and so I beg you, let it be me. Each time we meet, love, I find complete love. Without your sweet love, what would life be? So never, never leave me lonely. Tell me you love me only, and that you will always let it be me. Dream, 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 dream. Dream, dream, dream when I want you in my arms and I need you, and all your charms whenever I want you. All I have to do is dream. Dream, 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 dream. Dream, dream, dream when I feel blue in the night and I need you to hold me tight whenever I want you. All I have to do is dream. Dream, 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 dream. I can make you mine, taste your lips of wine, anytime, night or day. Only trouble is, I'm dreaming my life away. Should you find somebody new, he better be good to you. 'Cause if
Thank you so much for your patience. And without further ado, we will continue with the ceremony. While we begin, as we begin in the pinning ceremony and toast session, we have then and now videos that is going to be displayed on the slideshow here. And as we do that, we'll be reading some short bios for our representatives who are going to be receiving the pins this evening. So without further ado, we could start. Our first recipient we will now call on Colonel Nathan Hyacinth to do the pinning for our first set of recipients. Our very first recipient, he gave a 10-minute speech, or maybe I should say, he gave a 10-minute speech within 1 hour. And none other than Mr. Thomas Samuel. Put your hands together.
Our next recipient is our diligent Deputy Commandant of the of the Delta Cadet Company, who served through the Leoness Comprehensive. He is none other than Mr. Cuthbert Elise. Mr. Elise will receive his in French.
Our next recipient, Alex Morgan, became a member of the Cadet Corps in July of 1986 upon entering the Leon Hess Comprehensive Secondary School. His love for the movement was immediate and was spurred along due to the wonderful association that he encountered. He developed a liking for the physical fitness, drills, skills at arms, and field craft. Mr. Morgan rose up to the being an impressive cadet and maintained a persona of being known for his attire and dress. We call it turnout. Seamed pants and bulbed shoes. He attended the PJO's course and eventually attained the rank of WO. He was very instrumental in various aspects of the DCC and can be remembered as very strict but jovial. In his final days in the service, he served as the chief instructor of the St. Lucia Cadet Corps. Mr. Morgan later enrolled in the Royal St. Lucia Police Force in 1999, where he aptly utilized the skills and abilities attained from DCC Company. He served as an instructor at the Police Academy for 5 years, officer in charge of Her Excellency's Royal Guard unit, among other departments. Today, he serves as inspector and the officer in charge of the Marigot Ancillary and Canneries MAC Police Station. He is married to one wife and a proud father of 2 wonderful sons. Ladies and gentlemen, W. Morgan. If you were paying attention, that's why he's not wearing green tonight.
Our next recipient is Sergeant Major back then, we knew him as, he left, he's in the Cadet Corps. Oh my. Major Trevor Terry Andrew Alfred was born in 2000, on the 20th, of June 1973 in St. Lucia. Mr. Alfred presently resides at Massad, Edgewater, Groslet, and is married to Mrs. Jacqueline Noel Alfred with their 2 children, Alicia and Alec Alfred. During his 5 years at secondary school education at Leoness, Major Alfred has led the ranks of Corporal, Unit Sergeant, Warrant Officer, Class 2, appointed Delta Company Sergeant Major, and has also participated in numerous OECS, Caribbean, and cadet camps. Major Alfred was presently the Commanding Officer's Medal for his contributions of his service during his appointment as Regimental Sergeant Major, and of recent have been the recipient of the award of the Caribbean Cadet Medal, CCM. Major and National Camps Commandant, he has served twice on the executive tier of the SLCC, St. Lucia Cadet Corps, and presently appointed the Executive Training Officer. He also traveled overseas with cadets platoons both in command and the second in command during the Caribbean camp. He completed the bronze, silver, and gold standard in the International Award of Young People through Duke of Edinburgh Award. He also successfully completed the International Award Association Leaders Course. In April of 1999, the Ministry of Education, Human Resource Development, Youth and Sports awarded him the Award of Excellence for Youth Work in 1999 and of St. Lucia Cadet Corps. His service has been unbroken, and continues to set the high standards of the Corps, participating in every aspect of cadetting and on camps, parades, and workshops. As part of St. Lucia's 40th anniversary of independence, a royal was scheduled, and Major Trevor Alfred was appointed equerry to His Royal Highness Prince Charles, the Prince of Wales, and on advice of Government House. During the St. Lucia's 44th anniversary independence celebrations, Major Alfred has been awarded the National Service Medal and awarded only 2 members of the police force. So it is an award awarded only 2 members of the St. Lucia Police, of the police force, fire service, prisons, service, and commission officers of the Cadet Corps. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm pleased to introduce Major Alfred.
Miss Eva Williams was born in Meekwood, St. Lucia, and grew up in Castries. She attended the Leon Hess Comprehensive Secondary School, where she joined the St. Lucia Cadet Corps in 1987 and was a member until 95. During her years of cadetting, she attained the ranks of Lance Corporal and Staff Sergeant. She presently lives in Castries. Miss Williams is a national volunteer, a member of various organizations, including head coach manager of the Magic Basketball Academy, member of the Vidbutei Cultural Club, supervisor, member of St. Lucia National Trust, secretary to St. Lucia, and assistant to St. Lucia West Indies Skateboarding, member of St. Lucia Red Cross, volunteer Replast OECS, and a volunteer of the St. Lucia Chess Federation, a certified basketball coach, a certified French examiner, a gold award holder, leader, assessor with the Duke of Edinburgh's Award program, a scout leader in charge of Vidbutei Primary School Scout Troop. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for former Staff Sergeant Williams. Thank you so much, Mr. Hyacinth, for presenting this section of our pinning awards.
For the next set of awards, we will invite Mr. Rupert Ellis, former principal of Leon Hess Comprehensive Secondary School. Our next recipient deserves no or needs no introduction. We've heard about her, we've listened to her tonight, and we can all in our own minds summarize one sentence to introduce her. So in your own mind, we ask you to introduce her as she comes up to receive her award. We call her Miss Eunice Dile. Dr. Eunice Dile. Doctor, Major, or Major Doctor? Major Dr. Eunice Dile.
Our next awardee, Charlene Louis, was a sergeant upon retirement from active duty in '92. As a cadet attending Entrepot Secondary School, she served with passion and diligence. Her experience as a member of the Cadet Corps was indeed character building, and to this day continues to have a profound impact on her life. She currently serves in the education sector as a secondary school counselor attached to the Stanley John Odlum Memorial Secondary School, where she proudly contributes to the social, emotional, and academic development of the students in her care. Charlene has also been one of the pioneers in the organizing of this event. Ladies and gentlemen, please help us share gratitude in applause as we welcome Charlene Louis.
You want to thank Mr. Ellis? Okay. Our next recipient, Mr. Mervyn Alexis, is a dynamic professional with passion for information and communication technology. Where tutsa Seli. And a proven track record with high priority data systems, uptime of 99.7% as per ISO 127001. Masava. He has established himself as a leading expert in the field. Throughout his career, Mervyn has consistently developed outstanding results. With a keen eye for high standards, he has been a team leader in many notable projects: government, financial, and HR smart stream development, and migration border control implementation. When not immersed in the professional world, Mervyn spends his time working with community and youth organizations. He is a president of the Corinth Community Development, president of Castries Comprehensive School Parent-Teacher Association, and vice president of Musical Youth Orchestra. He has a passion for entertainment, business venture, real estate design, and build DIY projects. In summary, Mervyn is a dedicated professional who combines expertise with a strong willpower to succeed and influence. Tutsaidia Ivui. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Mervyn Alexis.
We thank you so much, Mr. Ellis, for assisting in the pinning. Thank you so much. It is an honor to have you in our presence. I now call on Mr. Hyacinth to assist with the Colonel Hyacinth. Oh, sorry. I'm just working with my co. I turn you under the bus there, brother.
My tools.
So we now welcome Mr. Nicholson Alexis, member of the Parent Advisory Support Committee, to help us present the rest of the pinnings. This next recipient hails from Enjipo Secondary School and was a dedicated member of the DCC who participated in all activities of her unit at the Leon Hess Comprehensive Secondary School. Her dedication and aptitude resulted in her being promoted to rank of Lance Corporal. After leaving, she worked in the travel service industry. She later pursued training in languages, providing services in teaching and translation of official documents from Spanish to English. She later joined the government in public service in the field of human resource management. She currently is attached to the Public Service Commission. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Arlene Buddha.
Our next recipient, Mr. Jan Gustav. He was known in the Cadet Corps as Private Gustav Y, or Jan Gustav Y. Jan Gustav involuntarily became a cadet after he was instructed to remain after school via the intercom by the then principal, Mr. Rupert Ellis, to attend cadet training. See Bondibo. The instruction followed an altercation with fellow classmates in the classroom in the year 1990 and included the other students as well. He graduated from school after his 3 years of study in 1992 and in July 1993 got recruited as a member of the Royal Central Police Force. Thanks, of course, to Mr. Ellis, where he captured the award for Best Recruit at Drills, thanks to DCC. Okay, Best Recruit at Drills and Best Recruit at Military Subjects, DCC. He continues to serve the Royal Central Police Force after 30 years and is currently at the rank of sergeant. He is the father of two, with his daughter being an active member of St. Lucia Cadet Corps. The apple don't fall too far from the tree. Ladies and gentlemen, it's our pleasure to introduce Mr. Jan Gustav. Gustav, why? Why did you do that?
So now we know why. Pun intended. Yes, this is why. Thank you so much, Mr. Nicholson Alexis, for your assistance. We now call on
Her Excellency Emerita Dame Paulette Louisi, Governor General, Governor General, Governor General Emerita, to assist us in the pinning ceremony.
this next cadet is a former corporal of the Delta Cadet Corps, and he attended the Leon Hess Comprehensive Secondary School and graduated in 1992. He worked with the Bank of St. Lucia Limited as a senior manager, recoveries and valuation units. Before joining the Bank of St. Lucia, he worked with Cable and Wireless Limited in 92 as a billing clerk and was later promoted to data entry clerk in 93. In December 1994, he joined the Bank of St. Lucia team as counter clerk and quickly moved on to a teller position in February 95. He worked in several units within the Bank of St. Lucia, but spent most of his tenure working in lending. This has allowed him to acquire vast knowledge in credit. He served as an acting senior manager, corporate and developing banking. More recently, in July 2022 and August 2023, acted as Deputy Managing Director of Operations. As a result, he's result-driven and has a passion for helping others grow professionally and personally, heavily focused on discipline and getting things done the right way. That's the DCC way. The values learned as a member of the DCC Drive, this discipline is very evident in every aspect and facet of his being. I am pursuing an MBA specializing in banking, he says, with Edinburgh Napier University. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Daniel Eugene.
Ladies and gentlemen, Linda Chocolate Buffier served as a member of the Delta Cadet Company at Leon Hess Comprehensive Secondary School. She was referred to as the most outstanding recruit in drill instructions at a national cadet camp. Unfortunately, she didn't get it, but it was hers. She was a founding member of the Delta Cadet Company band, where she also learned to play the tenor saxophone. She remained a devoted member of the Delta Cadet Company until 1994. Singer, songwriter, certified radio television announcer from Mona Campus, UWI, registered and devoted nurse for over 21 years. Sexual and reproductive health nurse for certified midwife, supervisor at the Sexual Reproductive Health Clinic, Castries. She is a member of the Board of Directors, Jano Credit Union. She has graced us tonight with a wonderful voice, and she blessed us with superb singing. Her elegantly attired self here tonight speaks volumes of where she came from and who she is today. We are, of course, indeed pleased in introducing Miss Linda Chocolate Buffier. Our next recipient, he's right by Her Excellency, Mr. Myers, Spencer Myers. He's a private entrepreneur. He served in the Delta Cadet Company from 1989 for 4 years. And where he went, his brother also went, Spencer Myers. Can't forget Spencer. All right, if you talk about that's Spencer, Lester. So he was the rest of the Myers. Yeah, there was Spencer and then Lester Myers. Right. So Lester Myers is not here tonight, but Spencer is representing them both. The Myers hail from the Leclerc area, and these guys were wonderful specimen, wonderful guys to work with. They were motivated. They motivated even the instructors. And I must personally say how proud I am of the Myers brothers, both Lester and Spencer. Having to come from certain areas and have difficulties, those young men prevailed. Spencer is a private entrepreneur in trucking and irrigation. He's a trucking and irrigation specialist. Okay, so he's a businessman. He's an entrepreneur. He still hails the DCC concepts wherever he goes, and for that we're indeed pleased. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, let's please welcome Mr. Spencer Myers, who will also represent Mr. Lester Myers.
And our last, but definitely not least, our last recipients for the pinning tonight will be introduced by Mr. Samuel. Sorry? Okay, so if you notice, we might miss a few people because we've been trying to get bios and photos and stuff. So we will acknowledge the members who came in, and we appreciate your presence being here. So Mr. Samuel will take over for the introductions for the rest of our members. Thank you.
The next recipient is a member of the Leon Hess Comprehensive Cadet Unit. A cadet who was very passionate in his turnout and his ability to drill one of these good subjects. He is known as, in some cases, the oddly bugler, because he loves to blow his trumpet, and prides himself, and you heard some of it today. He also played in the inter-secondary school concert band as one of the frontline trumpeters, and is an individual who also loves to sing. He didn't sing for us tonight, but he loves to sing. You can find him at his favorite karaoke places where he practices art. I can't tell you all of that. But he is in the transport industry, where he's a leading individual. I think he might be one of the executive members of the National Transportation Association, and he manages operations in one of the transportation companies in St. Lucia. I give you Mr. former Corporal Owen Lionel. The next recipient is also from the Leon Hess Comprehensive Cadet Unit of the Delta Company. This individual is a very passionate individual, sometimes a little argumentative in trying to get her point across, but that is indicative of her passion. And she was also a member of the Delta Cadet marching band, where she played, believe it or not, that heavy instrument, the tenor saxophone. She continued also into the intersecondary school concert band, where she played for a number of years under the tutelage of Mr. Eugene Seeley. She's a private, she's an entrepreneur, very creative individual, and she is in the catering and other services. So I'd like to introduce to none other than former Lance Corporal Kathleen Scott. Our final recipient tonight would be from the Anchipo Secondary School Cadet Unit of the Delta Company. He has continued his love for the Corps and gave selflessly for many years, and is still an active member. He now serves in the executive of the St. Lucia Cadet Corps and is here well down in full regalia. I give you, ladies and gentlemen, none other than Major Sean Wells, former unit commander of the Anchipo Secondary School.
Thank you very much, Mr. Samuel. Thank you, it's a pleasure. Move right along to our toast to DCC. So Major Trevor Alfred, please stand on by. I am so sorry, Governor General Emerita. Thank you so much, Your Excellency, for helping us with this part of the presentation. See it as my passion to get you home earlier. So we move on in the program with a toast to DCC by Major Trevor Alfred, Inspector Alex Morgan, and Mervyn Alexis. Shall we move along wonderfully? Okay, so as we wait for them to get organized with the toast, we'll move along with our tribute to our fallen colleagues. Patrick Edward was a passionate and career cadet, having risen to the rank of lieutenant. Such was his passion that he gave up his lucrative employment as a banker to serve one of his great loves, cadetting. He was a world-renowned karateka and a member of the Hall of Fame of the regional fraternity. He served as the Cadet Corps' first full-time officer and manager of headquarters in the capacity of adjutant. Throughout his tenure, former Lieutenant Edward provided sterling and steadfast support to the development aspirations of the Delta Company. Sadly, he departed this life during the COVID-19 pandemic in October 1st, 2021.
Mr. Victor Dudley was a well-known martial artist and sports enthusiast. He had a long association with the paramilitary and served in the reserve, where he attained the rank of Assistant Superintendent of Police. His love for the paramilitary extended to the Cadet Corps, which he also loved dearly, joining as an adult starting from the rank of Under Officer, or UO, and later attained the rank of Captain. He served as a unit commander of the Anchipo Secondary School Cadet Unit of the Delta Cadet Company for several years. Sadly, he departed this life in the heights of the pandemic in September of 2021.
Bernadette George Marshall was a member of the Anchipo Secondary School unit of the DCC. She embodied the spirit of Delta Company through her dedication and service over several years. After leaving school, she joined the government service and served in various departments until she settled in the Ministry of External Affairs, where she last held her post as Chief Protocol Officer. Sadly, former Private George departed this life earlier this year, having succumbed to her ailment. Ladies and gentlemen, here ends our tribute to the fallen among us. May they rest, in the Lord's perfect peace. At this time, we will now stand. Please join us in standing to observe a minute of silence in memory of our fallen colleagues, after which our trumpeter will lead us in a rendition of the last post, also known as taps. Thank you. You may have your seats. It is important to live, but more important to leave a positive mark, or I should say a footprint on this earth. Amen?
Amen.
Amen. So may they rest in eternal peace. We appreciate knowing them, having worked with them, having been with them, having known them. And let us take this as a reminder to appreciate those among us. So now we definitely get ready to appreciate those among us as we toast to our Delta Cadet Company. As the glasses are passed around, I'm going to ask Major Trevor Alfred to please come up to give the very first toast. When we're done with all three presentations of the toast, we will have a final toast together. So Major Trevor Alfred and Inspector Alex Morgan and Moving Alexis, please make your way to the front.
Okay, very well. Toast to the St. Lucia Cadet Corps. St. Lucia Cadet Corps.
A toast to our former commandant of the Cadet Corps, the former commandant, of our Delta Cadet Company, the commandant of the Cadet Corps, and of course to our very specially invited guests, not forgetting our Her Excellency Dame Paulette Louisy.
Leadership, discipline, and service, the Delta way. It has been instilled in us 30 years, brewing, evolving. We are one. Toast to DCC, forever and love. Thank you.
Hip, hip, hip. Hip, hip, hip. Hip, hip, hip.
Excellent. And ladies and gentlemen, this is actually one of my second favorite parts of the event. The welcome remarks. Not the welcome remarks, the farewell remarks. I call it. Clearly I need to go home. All right, so now we will have the vote of thanks by our very own Arlene Buddha.
Good evening to all. On behalf of our planning committee, I would like to thank everyone present for attending. Her Excellency Dame Paulette Louisy for taking time to spend with us. I know she had other engagements, but we really appreciate her presence with us tonight. Let's give her a hand of applause. We also thank Commander Hyacinth, former principal of the Leon Hess Secondary School, Mr. Rupert Ellis, Mr. Alexis, and other invited guests. An event like this could not have happened overnight. It required planning and a bird's eye for detail. We have been fortunate enough to be backed up by a team of very motivated, dedicated, and results-oriented personnel. So I would like to thank the members of the planning committee. I will name them out. I hope I don't forget anybody. Mervyn Alexis. Give him a better round of applause than this. He has been on his feet 24/7, and he had another activity last night. So I can just, he said 34/7. So I can just imagine, right? Linda Bouffier, you know in the Corps we call each other by the surname. So if I forget your first name, excuse me, okay? Our MCs, Linda Bouffier and Alex Morgan. Jan Gustav, I consider him our PR because he did a marvelous job of getting that message out there. Charlene Louis, one of the backbones of this event. I cannot thank everyone enough for their involvement and their willingness to take on the completion of tasks beyond their comfort zones. Special thanks again to everyone, and have a good evening.
And it's party time. Yeah. Okay, sorry. So before we give way to our DJ and we start our informal session, I would just like to say thank you so much to our specially invited guests for choosing us, That was champagne?
Prioritizing.
Off the record, for putting us first. Thank you so much for coming tonight. As you can tell, it's late and it's time for us to get home. And we are going to close together by singing the DCC song. Now, if you are in our big chat group, most of you would have heard our dear friend singing it so you could get an idea of how it went. Some of us have amnesia. So thank you so much, Morgan, for reminding us. And if you look at your programs, the lyrics are there.
I sing it on the Okay. Yeah, ready.
Yes,
Let's
all
start.
stand. Let's all stand. Let's all stand.
Let's go.
Come and sing the first.
That's songs there are some chant songs that we use to motivate each other as we go on our long walks across the island, up and down the hills. So these are songs that keep us going. But this Delta Company song resonates with us over the years as originally Delta, not the tune, but the lyrics. And it goes. Ready?
Yeah.
2, 3. Over hill, over dale, we will hit the dusty trail as the deltas go marching along. Everywhere you can see we're from Delta Company as the Deltas go marching along. There's a high, 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 hey, that's the one for me. We start the day and end it with a song. Hoo-ha! Everywhere we go, you will always know where the Deltas go marching along. When the Deltas go marching along. One more time. Over hill, over dale, we will hit the dusty trail as the Deltas go marching along. Everywhere you can see we're from Delta Company as the Deltas go marching along. Hit it hard. There's a high, high, hey, high, hey. That's the one for me. We start the day and end it with a song. Hoo-ha! Everywhere we go, you will always know as the Deltas go marching along. When the Deltas go marching along. Let's look at the.
Thank you so much. And if you wish to join us in cutting our Delta Cadet Corps cake, please stick around. Mr. Samuel is in charge of that. He didn't want to cut it. He wanted to send us home with a piece. But arguably, we're going to enjoy tonight. All right, so continue to our swallowship, our fellowship, and our musicship. Enjoy your night. Thank you so much for joining us. A pleasant good night on behalf of my co-MC, W.O. Morgan, and Linda Chocolate Britty. Have a pleasant, pleasant evening. Mr. Samuel, some people are going to be leaving soon, so can we do our group picture before the doors are opening? Can we all join together? Former DCC members, present DCC members, parents, committee, let's all join together to get a group photo. Mr. Samuel, it's okay.
Anti-côté qui caché, civilisation pas maniée, c'est où salon qui mène, la pompe pas qu'à trouver, loin de nous que douter, en qui j'en le matin secret, oula, oulé, oula, oulé, là où va nous que arriver, c'est la limite qu'à créer, nous qui comprenons ma part.
Some of us need to leave, some of us need to hang, some of us need to dance. Please come to the front, everyone.
La gentiment carité, pour moi, je préfère découvrir.